You've reached the Union and Metro Street podcast, where we discuss the San Diego music scene of the late 80s and all of the 90s. From the shows we worked and the shows we played at Soma Live. Here we go.
Hello, I'm Monica Sierras of Dodgeball.
And I am Colin Smith. That was the guitars in Dodgeball, and I was also the drummer in Cockroach.
Welcome, guys.
Yes.
Hello, hello.
Hey, guys. So,
How's it going?
how you doing?
Doing good. Just kind of tripping out on this whole thing. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a long time, eh?
Yeah, you're accessing files that you haven't, I remember having different memories, but then really thinking about it, you're going to places you haven't, sights and sounds and people you haven't thought of in a long time. And, just seeing his face, like, I'm like, who's this guy? But then seeing his face, I'm like a face guy, facial recognition. And just seeing people just takes me back to a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it's just not only the idea of, like, talking about the old stories to jog the memory, but just, again, seeing people, it's kind of like, oh crap, we're all getting older, but
Yeah.
wow.
I was saying it's like the high school reunion.
Yeah.
I didn't go to my high school reunion, but seeing everybody, it was kind of like punk rock high school for everybody over there.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking about on the way down driving that Dodgeball to us was like rock and roll high school. Just paying our dues, learning everything, just getting it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Doing little tours. It was
Working
kind of
your
like,
ass off.
because we didn't have college years. I mean, we did a couple years of community college, but, touring and doing all that stuff was like kind of like our college experience. Just happened to be, with instruments and traveling around a little van and then doing some local shows.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then putting out vinyl. And speaking of, okay, so I can't remember. I've got one or two. How many vinyl did you guys put out?
Okay, we had two vinyls. We had Yellow Records 7-inch that had four songs on it. And then we had a Goldenrod 7-inch that had 4 songs on it.
Okay.
And they were all recorded by this. We recorded them with Frank Melendez, who is ex-Sprung Monkey, correct?
Right.
Wasn't he a guitar player? That was when he had his little 8-track studio somewhere in La Mesa. It was in a, like a really nice like office building, the way I remember it, in La Mesa. He had an 8-track analog. And that's where we also did the Lump of Coal song. I think that was the first one we did. And then we liked how it sounded. And then we recorded there with him. And then kind of like those songs got kind of divided up into the 7-inches,
And the Lump of Coal was Jeff's thing with
Jeff Greenwood, Yellow
Records. Okay. Yeah. Wasn't Cockroach supposed to do? We're gonna do
I tried
a Christmas song or something.
We had a Christmas song. I heard it when I was listening to the Cockroach thing. So it's like, I want everything. I want it now.
Yeah.
So I was trying to, talk Greenwood into this punk rock. I'm all, it was all about secret songs back in the day. I'm all, just do the regular Lump of Coal, have like a minute of silence or whatever, and then just have our little Cockroach punky Christmas song at the end. It's not going to mean anything. You don't have to list it. It'll just be kind of this cool punk thing. And he kind of wasn't having it. He didn't think it was that cool of an idea, so it never got on there. And I was, anyway,
Well, that's as close as I got to actually being on vinyl.
Yeah.
And of all bands that I was with was Cockroach. So before we get into that, because oh my Lord, just thinking about Cockroach. Let's go back to Dodgeball. Okay. When did you guys start that band? I don't even remember.
Okay, Monica was the last member. Did you want to tell about the story? We met her. I actually have the reader ad that we met Monica in the photo album here. It was me, Mike Porter on bass.
Yeah.
And then we had J.D. Mobley was the drummer at the time.
He played later for, what was the African?
He was in this African band called Bitoto. They would play like SeaWorld and stuff. They got like really good gigs,
By the way, every band that's come in here and done a podcast, they've all met through the reader.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was like a huge thing.
That was the dating of musicians.
Yeah, and I can't believe we have the reader ad. So I met them through a reader ad. So they were a drummer and a bass player, rhythm section. They were looking for like a rhythm guitarist. They said like rave keyboard player, rhythm guitarist, punk rock guitarist. They wanted like a rhythm guy, not like a lead shredder guy. And I called them up, and so we were a pretty good 3-piece. And then we did a reader ad looking for a female vocalist. We were all into having like rad chick vocals.
And I saw what the mix of things that they'd put in the ad
we had
was really interesting. It was
chic vocalist with like, I don't know, we didn't want like a white chick.
I mean, ethno chic. That's,
I don't know. Anyway, so we ended up trying out like 20, 30 people.
Oh, no way.
And people show up and they're not prepared, that whole thing. And she basically came over, sang, did really, really good. And then I had 4-track demos. And I would give, the ones that did like a good job, like, hey, go home and write to this, and she had a 4-track. So she put my 4-track tape into her 4-track tape and wrote to it. And when she brought it back, it was like, I think it was to Atypical, the song that later was called Atypical. And it just kind of blew my mind. Well, all of it, it was just like, she's got melody, she understands song structure. She's working with the song. She's just not showing up going blah, blah, blah. And it was just awesome. And from that second I heard that tape, I was like, I'm working with this girl.
I was almost beat out by a guy, even though they were looking for a girl, and he came up with a pretty great
It was
song.
a pretty good hook. This guy, we were looking for a girl singer, and guys would show up, and this guy...
Was he Etho Chic or whatever
he was
that was?
Chic.
We were trying to... So this guy came up with this song. He called it... It was during the whole Buttafuoco thing. It was all Buttafuoco love, and he had this rad hook. It went with it, and it was actually really, really good.
I mean, I wasn't even around, and I still remember I was like,
it's a good hook.
He came up with a good hook.
Whoever you are out there, Buttafuoco love. Whoever that dude was, I can't remember his name, but
I had just been playing with Cranial Vacancy, playing bass, and I at that point, moving on from them, wanted to start singing, and I had sang a couple songs in that band, and thought I want to move on to singing, and I was looking, I'd gone through a couple of funny, trying out for a couple of different bands.
Right. Snake Pit.
Snake Pit. It was an all-girl band. That was the first time I was ever going to try being in an all-girl punk band.
This is before Slash's Snake Pit.
And I was always really freaked out by girls because girls, well, they get emotional and there's things, how I've never seen too many girl bands that can keep it together. Right. So I go and audition for Snake Pit, and as I'm there, actually the first one I think went okay, and they said, okay, come back, this is going well. So I go back the next day or the next time, and
we'll come back dressed, right?
Oh yeah, and they said come back dressed as you would for a show. Yeah. Well, I'm in my cutoffs and my t-shirt and they're kind of looking at me like, no, are you gonna go put on like the heels and the stockings or whatever and I was like, this is my it's my gig. And then some of the girls were late, and when they showed up, it was like my boyfriend, and they were crying, and it freaked me out. So we had a great rehearsal, but I went home and I never called them back. And I saw them months later, and they were like, we thought you were gonna come sing with us, and I was like, oh, sorry. I don't know what I said, but it was just I got really uncomfortable with that whole thing. Yeah. But I walked into these guys' room. And Mike Porter, the bass player, he had this long rocking hair.
Kind of looked like the old lead singer for Excel. Remember how long his hair looked like Excel, dude?
Great looking hair. And Colin had these long dreads. The drummer had some big dreads. And I'm like, this is a good looking band.
We had rocking hair back in the day.
It's like a couple months after I joined the band, I think they all cut their hair.
Yeah. Long hair wasn't cool anymore, so we were, I don't know what we were doing.
But it was, man. I was like, this. If hair counts for anything, this band's going places.
Yeah.
Right. What year was that?
Okay, 90. We looked at the reader ad actually, and it's dated like early '94.
Okay.
So that's when we got together, and I think like maybe just 2, 3, 4 months after that of jamming and her writing up, we had some material, and she was just writing up to it, and then we started gigging.
Oh, we started playing under horrible names. We were all so indecisive, and I think we played under anything.
Yeah, was that the first show, like at the Velvet? Maybe.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever?
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, did you guys ever play any shows at Union?
Yep.
No.
I think I did Cranial.
Cranial played. Yeah,
I remember.
I was a performance artist with this like industrial band called Steam Machine or
Sweat Engine.
See that we were kind of like a joke sweat engine band. But anyway,
okay.
I was like
we're gonna get into that later because that goes into that.
But I never played an
early Soma stuff.
Oh man,
at Union.
Lots of memories there. Yeah.
And now before I played there, I remember being in high school and going and going there when it was a goth club.
Yeah.
And I was like the biggest dork. Like I loved all these scene things, but I hated shopping. I never bothered to dress for a scene or anything.
Right.
So I was always just like the dorkiest person, but I'd just be like, I love this goth stuff, And
it was rad. I was really into the industrial thing because I was into metal. So when the whole crossover, and then I was into the metal punk crossover thing, DRI. Mm-hmm. So then when the whole industrial metal crossover thing was happening, I was super into that. And that was happening. Like they were playing a bunch of like kind of cool gothy stuff. And then they'd slip in like a Ministry song, like Stigmata, like every like hour or something.
Yeah.
We'd have some fun,
Because the dance floor would just kind of separate people, go in their groups, and then they would just sit there and smoke. And you
cloves.
Because here I am walking around with a little, rocket fuel coffee, and
they smoked and cried. Is that what it was?
Oh, pretty much, or I was because of all the smoke,
mascara running down faces.
Yeah. So this would be when I started. So it was '89. My first show there was late '89, November in '89. So in '89 and then '90, and like before we talked about, it was basically the goth club. They bring in different things to try to do something, but it'd be upstairs, and it would be completely barren.
Yeah.
But we'd have remember those giant boxes that we would have to push out in the middle of the floor, and then someone would get up there and doing their dance, and then certain songs would come on, and certain groups would come out, and the smoke sort of dissipates, and they all it was it was fucking rad.
And I was so into goth girls. I thought they were so cute, and they were just not into what I had going on at all.
They weren't into
I wasn't sad enough. I mean, they were just like in the corner, just all depressed. And I'm like, I'm just such a happy, kind of spazzy dude. Like kind of like a surfer kind of punky dude.
You want a vampire.
Yeah. And I'm like, man, I am so into these girls, man. But they are just not in. I was just always so bummed about it because they were just so cute, man.
Do you remember Vivian? The little 5'2", buzz cut. Eventually she ended up riding a little motorcycle.
I don't know.
Well, she and I started a band with the light guy and the DJ, Jason, and oh God, I can't remember his name. Tribe of Fallen Dreams, but we were like a goth industrial sort of thing. It was a rad project.
Do you remember that one band? Okay, we always saw rad bands in the dungeon. There was this one industrial band. They brought all the saws and grinders, and they had like oil cans, and they were like shooting sparks.
Babyland?
Maybe that was it. Yeah, because they would just shoot like Sweat Engine was the opener,
right?
And then it was Babyland. I think you're right.
And the computers.
Oh man, and they would shoot sparks.
And this is before people really had computers going.
Yeah. Because there was no pyro at Soma or anything like that, so they were shooting sparks. I mean, it was like awesome. I mean, and they were like. You thought of a lot of industrial thing, and there was guitars, but they never really did that. I mean, they did that. They were pounding metal, and they had drills, and it was like the best.
Metal chain.
Yeah. And really good at it. It wasn't just noise. Like, they were awesome. But, I mean, I saw Jello down there one time. I had Lard on my thing. Like, he was just watching a band. I looked over, and there he is. So I'm like, okay. You're always like, well, what do I say? You want to say something, but you don't want to say something stupid. So I'm like, hey, what's up with Lard? Are you guys going to do, like, another album? That was, like, my line, I guess.
Yeah.
And he's like, he kind of, like, was thinking about it. And he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, wonder if I put the idea in his head. Because like 6 months later, there was like another Lard record. And he was kind of like spinning his eyes. And I'm like, dude, Lard is awesome. You guys got to get in the studio with Al again, Jorgensen, and just, and that's in my head. That's like my little dream. Like I put the seed in Jello's head to do another Lard album.
From now on.
Yeah.
Well, it's in the podcast.
And now that it's in the podcast, it's almost like, it's got to be true, right?
So when Jello calls up and says, hey, fucking no, that's not how it happened.
Yeah, not at all. Yeah.
But you never. I mean, back then that's how everything was organically. So let's get back to Dodgeball. How you guys started coming together?
Early '94,
and so Monica's decides. Who was it? Elizabeth Weems, was that her band? Snake Pit.
Was that
the all girl like rock hair band?
And
they could have made some money off of Slash.
And
wanted the name.
Good. They were really good.
Slash wanted the name, so he wined and dined him and tried to buy the name. They owned the name. They tried to, just a side tangent. He was going to give him a bunch of money.
Wow.
Like maybe 10 G's or something, and they could use that to record and do all this stuff, and they just held on to the name and did nothing. I mean, they just should have sold it to him. And
I guess he just went Slash's Snake Pit.
Yeah,
and
so then he called it
Slash's
Snake Pit. And that's where that came from. So Anyway, let's digress.
But
Dodgeball.
yeah, it was one of those things. Yeah, you know, they were great. I thought they were fun musicians. But I really was scared of working with girls. I just kind of never really done it. And
so drummer number one, JD Mobley, when I was like pretty adamant, I'm like, Monica's the girl. She's it. You know, it was just awesome. He wasn't having it. For some reason, he didn't like it. I think the story we come up with our head is he had it in his head that he wanted to do the singer, whoever the singer was. And I think he felt that like he wasn't going to lay this chick like by her vibes. You know, she was about the music too. She wasn't about just partying and fucking the dudes in the band. And he was just like, he was out, you know?
Right.
So then we were just already said all of a sudden starting the whole, we've been through 8 drummers with Dodgeball. So that started the quest of all the drummers. So then we had this guy named Doug. He was drummer number 2. And that's when we started gigging. We had a couple shows with like him.
That was early on, yeah.
Yeah, and then his roommates came and saw us, and this is kind of like we played like this. It was like the first show, so we needed like more space, like time. So we busted out this really quick "Get Off My Cloud" by the Rolling Stones, which was a horrible song to cover. Anyway, we played it, and his roommates, I basically said, "Dude, this is horrible. Get out of this band." So there goes drummer number 2. And then number 3 was a main drummer for a long time, Mike Gilly. He was on the 7 Inches. He did those Frank Melinda. He was with us for like, a few years. And that was kind of.
And he's still playing. He's out still playing. He's in
really good
Austin,
drummer,
I believe now.
Really good drummer. But at the time, it was just so fast. I thought like our songs were upbeat, but he played them so fast they lost like a lot of feel, and I think that
at the time everybody was trying to go just so fast and
everything,
I never wanted to say, like, people would try to say that we were punk, and we weren't punk. We were definitely more in what we call it power pop.
That's what
because
you
it was
kinda
just
called
like
it,
I mean, we were like the poppiest thing, but just fast. It's so fast.
So I'm trying to think. That's probably when like the Neighbors. Trying to think of what other bands, because there was that that whole movement of speeding everything up as a way of compensating.
Face to Face was, probably in that whole timeline.
Yeah.
When
Dookie came out, and everything was just all about all that stuff.
Yeah.
It was Dookie, and then the Face to Face thing was like, still real. Remember that was just huge.
Yeah.
All that stuff. So it's like. And then everybody just said, because she was a girl singer, that like, oh, you sound like Gwen. Oh, it's all, and it's like she had, it was a cool compliment, but she didn't sound or sing anything like Gwen Stefani. Nothing against her. She's awesome and had her whole thing, but that's all we ever got. Oh God, you're like Gwen. We travel around in Arizona and tell, oh, you're like Gwen. Oh my, and we're like, oh, cool, thanks. But like, I don't hear that at all.
No,
and your guys' sound was nothing like No Doubt either.
Yeah. Well, they didn't really say that, but yeah,
definitely not. Yeah, we weren't any kind of funky. We were.
There was
when did you guys first play Metro? Since you guys formed, basically you guys
have a
formed
list
in '94.
Probably right about the time that it went over there.
Yeah.
Just about the time that it turned over is when.
Yeah, because that was the time you guys formed, so that's when Metro opened up, was '94. So.
Yeah, we did some side stages, we did pretty good.
It's kind of a cloudy time as far as like, there was it was relentless. There was show after show. Whether if either we were playing one or we were going to see somebody, it's like you were there every weekend.
Getting a drummer in shape, which was always like the one step forward, 2 steps back. We got a show. Let's try some people out. Let's get them in practice. That was always very stressful.
Yeah.
And then the sets were so quick. It's like 25 minutes.
Oh, we were just talking to someone about that, and he doesn't come from this kind of scene at all. And he's going, "How did you guys have 3 to 5 bands a night? How would that even work? Like
6 bands?
It's 6.
Yeah.
and he's like, "So did you all share a drum kit?" It's like, no, it was.
And we were always really cool. That whole thing that like people would kind of like juke like. The set, my bass player's got to go to this, so can we have like this slot?
Or can we borrow your gear?
Yeah, and we were always just like, we never stood up for ourselves, so we were always just like, okay, and we'd always take like the worst, the other spot that wasn't like as good. Like we didn't stick up for ourselves at all. We were really bad at that.
But what was fine though, you guys had your following, so it wasn't, people were there to see you most of the time. Monica was one of the few female, leads that
In that scene, was there another one? Was there anything?
The only other band I can think of that had a female singer that was local was probably the Fabulous Rudies.
Wow.
And they were a ska band.
Remember, what was her name from Bim Scala Bim? That was a little bit earlier, but she was doing stuff that whole time too.
But did they play Metro? I don't think so.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know.
As far as, I mean, the bar scene would be more, but is the presence and what you guys brought to the game, it was definitely, it stood out. I mean, it still
thanks.
Stands out because the music and then the presence of the band.
Cool.
And then even their merch that you guys made.
Oh, yeah. I definitely wrote that down that I want to talk about that.
Yeah, nobody else did that.
Well, we tried to set ourselves apart with the merch. Well, another thing, just to back up on the singing thing, when we tried her out, is she didn't sing like a girl. She sang like a punk rock dude. With harmony and melody, I mean, that's what kind of stuck out with me with her. It's like, dude, this chick can like belt it out. Well, she's not la da da. It's like,
and this was what was fun for me too, is because growing up when I was younger, I kind of did the whole classical background. Like, I was in choirs, I was in competitions where you were in front of a judge and you got judged according to the music that was written. Did you do the crescendos where they were? So getting involved in the punk scene for me was kind of this release of just like everything. I was so worried about everything, every detail, that I didn't enjoy performing. It was all about, as much as I loved singing, it was so stressful when I was up there because everything had to be perfect. So going into punk gave you this freedom. This amazing freedom to just go for it. Just let it out, let all your energy.
You embrace that.
Let your body fly wherever it wants.
Get all the angst out and relieve yourself of the stress of whatever everyday life. And
it did.
Get that adrenaline kick going. And
So the one thing we did is we did have rad merch. I mean, I was kind of like this artist freakazoid. So if I wasn't writing songs or doing little 4-track demos, basically we were just making merchandise. I would go to this t-shirt place down by Sports Arena. They had white shirts for like $5.
Cheap shirts. Can't find that
anymore.
And
then I had these fabric markers and fabric paints that you'd buy, whatever, Michael's or whatever the art place was. And I would, put a board in them and just draw and paint shirts. They were like $10 because the shirts were $3 or $5 to buy, and then sell them for $10. And then we had coloring book calendars, which was Xeroxing. That was a lot of fun to put together. A lot of work, but I mean, it was really cool. And people would just come up to the merch counter and just like roll their eyes and just trip out. You know what I mean? Yeah. We had toys. We go to like swap meets and thrift stores. Anything we could throw a sticker on and sell that for 50 cents.
We have meat thermometers.
We still have a lot of that shit too. I mean, we have a box of all this stuff, man. I mean, it's great. We've got the calendars. We'd have the 7 inches. We'd have a couple CDs, and then I had these demo tapes. So I worked at Tower. I heard you guys talking about Tower Records on one of the podcasts.
Mm-hmm. I forget which one did you work at?
I worked at the El Cajon one. You guys said there was 2. There was actually 3.
By Guitar Center?
There wasn't. No, that was the one in La Mesa. So there was Sports Arena, which had a video store next door. It was across the street. It wasn't connected. So it was Tower Sports Arena. That was the main one, of course. And then there was the La Mesa one, which was like by College, and it was by Guitar Center. So that was the La Mesa one. And I worked in one in El Cajon City. It was kind of down the street from Blue Meanie on Fletcher Parkway.
I didn't even know it was
It was by this KFC, and it was actually awesome. That was like my first like record store job. I could do a whole separate podcast on that. But I was like like a clerk for a long time. And then the big art boards they used to put up on the walls, those 4-foot art board. They had 2 artists at the time, and they were all just jaded and pissed off. They ended up quitting, and I took it over. So I did the job of 2 artists, and I was the art dude for the before that ended. I was there like at the last part of Tower Records. That's when Russ Solomon, the guy that gave it to his kids, and they kind of changed the format, and then CDs were going out. Everything was going, the whole Napster thing was going on, so you couldn't really sell anything. So I was there the last 3 or 4 years. He was painting
those big years. The big record.
Yeah, the big art board. So I was kind of the art dude, and then that's how I'd get the bennies of all So anyway, I digress again. So there'd be all these promo tapes and promo CDs. You get all these free things, and they would just give them out to everybody. There was all these like little cassettes, right? And I would make these demos at home or little singles. So if I'd get these little cassettes, and you'd put the tape over the, how you could record them, or if you put the Scotch tape over the little tabs. So I would get all these just tapes. They were just going in the trash. And then I would just sit at home duping all these singles. So we'd come to a Soma sideshow, And there would, I'd have all these just singles for that show.
And that'd be funny because in between like little takes, there'd be some other random band in between our songs.
Like on purpose. Like I'd record a demo and then leave 3 seconds of some other crazy shit. Or it'd be backwards. It would be like black mass, like upside down, backwards. And then, we'd give those out and it would be that one single. So,
but did it have the other band, like a different band's name on the cassette?
We cover it up and tape it up.
I mean, and then the cardboard sleeve, you'd peel it, reverse it, scotch tape it, and then we draw. So I was like a freakazoid. I don't know where I had all this time. I would draw on each one of these tapes, and we'd have 20 of them for a show or whatever. Yeah. So we had this crazy shit that no other bands had. I don't know. I mean, and then we'd mail postcards. You get a mailing list for people going. Dude, we were nuts.
The postcards were not printed up.
So when people gave us their address, we would hand draw
hundreds of them.
art postcards, and then before a show, we would mail these things out, snail mail, and then people would, in their mailbox would get like some. I mean, I could imagine these adults. They're going out to get their bills and stuff out of the mailbox, and then there's this crazy card with some weird dragon bug thing on it. It says Dodgeball, and then they got to give this to their kid. Hey, you got some mail, and they'd be like, oh rad. Hopefully they'd be like, oh rad. They're playing at Soma and. I don't know what we were thinking,
and we even
man.
had, at some point,
it worked.
There were even some of the kids from Soma would come over and make them with us.
Yeah, wow. They would mail us a couple. We have a couple in our collection of, like, Simon Tam was one of the biggest Dodgeball fans. He's in this band Slant now.
Slants, yeah.
He does really good. The Slants?
The Slants,
The Slants. And so we have a couple fan postcards, art ones that people mail us, and we have those in, like, a scrapbook and stuff. And
wow.
Yeah, just nutsy stuff.
Because back in the day, that was one of the things. Trying to remember what band I had heard from originally, but maybe it was Gangbusters or someone had brought up, they had a mailing list. So I used to, promote people, hey, just make a mailing list. Because back then, that's how you did it.
Yeah.
And you didn't have a podcast, a radio show, Instagram, TikTok. Yeah. And it worked.
Yeah.
It's those personal touches that I appreciated being a fan of music, and then just made my life easier because I can only reach so many people, and our flyers were so... It became so generic. It's just like, all right, which color is it?
Right.
Great. All right, I got to put up the green one this week.
Yeah.
So
much work. And we all did it because it was like, that's what you did. You just passed out flyers and did all that stuff.
Yeah.
But
it just showed how much passion you had for what you were doing, which made it different, which made the fan base appreciate it even more. I mean, that's the thing when people started getting more CDs and less vinyl. So then, like I have to wear glasses just to read a book or look at my phone. But, you get a cover art and you're looking at all the cover art. But if something's hand drawn, you're like, oh, fuck, dude. No one else has this.
That was the theory. And I think it worked with like some kids, but it didn't like translate into like 500 or 1,000 kids coming to a show. You know what I mean? We got those same 30 to 50 kids, which was cool. And we totally appreciated it, but it never translated into like big numbers. With all the for the amount of effort we put into it, you know what I mean?
I feel like we're still like that. We still put a lot of effort into every gig that we do, and
we've got to get into plan what we're doing.
That's a labor of love. I mean, definitely isn't about the pay. I mean, we've
made a living at it more.
We've made a living, but at the same point, it's definitely not. We're not living in mansions.
Yeah. For the amount of time we put into everything, it's still,
Yeah.
You gotta love it, man.
Oh yeah.
Or
absolutely.
Or you gotta quit, and we just don't know how to quit.
Yeah.
So
I'm the same way, but with everything that I'm doing. But then again, if you said you had crossed over and you made all that, you got Blink 182 recognition.
Yeah.
Then you're not doing any of that stuff. And then your original fans are going, well, what happened?
I could have the plan was, I actually kind of thought about that. We would have like real shirts. Mm-hmm. If we were on the road, we'd have your $20 black shirt with like printing on it. And then if I was in the road on a bus or in a van, I could make one or two kind of special nice shirts. Yeah. And those could have been like, oh, hey, I saw you, if some kid's up at the bus or the van, hey, I saw you in the front. Oh, dude, you're into this. Here's the shirt, So I did have a plan of how to do it even later, cool. if, and it just never got to that point. But that would have been rad to be able to pass like out a rad handmade shirt by the guitar player to like some rad fan and just be like, here. Yeah. And then, so that was,
How big did... I want to get back to the list of the drummers here, but how big did you guys actually get? Like, other than playing
big?
We got huge. I mean,
dude, we were really big in El Paso for like 2 minutes, dude. I gotta tell you, man.
I heard you guys just ruled in England, but
no. Japan.
Never got to Japan,
man. Yeah. Big in Japan.
What are the biggest shows that you were doing?
Some of the touring that we did, and we got on some great nights. I mean, that's all I can say. I have to say. So we booked our tours on Book Your Own Fucking Life.
Yeah,
and which was it was the quintessential way to do it yourself touring, and we met so many amazing people. There's still some people we keep in contact with. Like we would go to
Ryan
Arcata.
from Arcata.
We played at was it Hugs Not Bombs or Love Not Bombs house, and I guess that was like where the mayor lived. And he was like an 18-year-old mayor of this town, and so they would have these punk rock parties in the kitchen of this house.
Yeah.
And
I remember that.
And that was some of the greatest stuff.
Okay, quick side story on that. So Brent's playing drums, drummer number 5, and I guess this jar falls down or falls off this thing, and he thinks it's like a jar of like weed, right? And he's like, "Oh man, he didn't smoke, but the other, we other 3 people were stoners." And he's playing, and he shoves this jar over to the side. He's like, "I'm gonna get, I guess
they're gonna love me, man."
Yeah. So he gives it to us, and he thinks he's getting us like this jar of weed, and it turns out to be like some spice. It's like Whorehound.
It had fallen off the shelf when we were playing. It had rocked off.
Yeah. So he got it for us, but it didn't turn out to be weed.
He thought somebody was throwing it to us,
and we have it. It's another memento. It's on my shelf. We have the jar with the Dodgeball Whorehound, yes, and it was a good try, Brent. Hi, Brent. How you doing? Drummer number 5 and 7.
And 7.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. Okay, well, who's number 6 then?
Okay, so we were talking about Mike Gilly, number 3, and then we had this kid named Josh Mader. He lived in Spring Valley somewhere. He was a young kid. He was younger than us.
We were about
he
to
was
go
on one tour, and we
just knew we needed somebody, and he kind of jumped in just for the tour.
And he had young and energy, and it just didn't work out, but it worked out for the tour to keep going. It's hard to cancel a tour, even though they're small little tours.
Right.
It's like you want to go, you quit your stupid job at 7-Eleven and you just got to go, right? And then we got Brent Killer, which was one of our main guys. He was on the CD, the Hooray for Everything.
Most of the time.
He was with us like most of the time. He hated touring, but he was the most solid drummer we had.
For it because
he was in Beer Goggles. Was that the main band he was in before?
I think so.
Beer Goggles
with Lenny,
maybe.
Local band?
You would know. Yeah, local guy.
Oh, okay.
I remember them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he came from that, and he was actually a fan of Dodgeball. So when we were looking for drummers, he, for some reason, he got a hold of however that happened, but he was a fan, and he was stoked to be in the band.
Yeah.
And he was pretty good for a while, but he had this really solid job. Like
he had a real job. Like none of us had.
So
none of us had real jobs.
He didn't want to leave.
I was a valet. I valet park cars. He was like, I'm working for Toyota. And, they've got things like you get raises and things like that.
Yeah.
I don't want to lose
benefits.
Benefits, yeah. We didn't
had
like one of those.
No.
We had a
no
really good
retirement package there.
What?
No retirement package when you're in a band.
No.
Yeah.
We still have nothing. I mean, we've been playing together since 94. What's the math on that?
Oh, our 401k is just doing great.
Almost 30 years, right?
Yeah,
or 25 years.
We're going to have a 30-year playing together anniversary here at some point. It's coming up, I know, in the next year or two. So we had a really good run with Brent for, 2-3 years, the main part.
And then his work said, no, you can't tour anymore if you want to keep your job.
And the tours were like, $50, gas money, cheese pizza. I mean, it was very unglamorous. I mean, it was fun as shit, but I mean, for somebody who has a real job and only 2 weeks vacation time, it just, he was like, I ain't doing this anymore. And he's out. So then we had the infamous DDA Suarez for a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah. Which he's a great guy.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
He wasn't in the band too long. It just wasn't the right fit, like band wise. You know what I mean? It just wasn't. He's a trippy dude. We've got our personalities, and it was cool for a little bit, but it just wasn't jiving. So I don't know how long that lasted. It wasn't too long.
And he was from Sub Society. And
back in the day, I remember seeing him when I was a little kid.
Furious 4, that's right.
Yeah.
So
then. And then I don't know why we got Brent back. We got Brent back in the band for a little while longer. I don't know. He just missed it. But then the same issues came up, about touring and just stuff.
Right.
And then we had this other guy for a while. The last drummer we had, number 8, was this guy named Mike Owen. And I forget what band he was in, but he lived down the beach. He was a guy from Texas.
He was a really nice guy.
Really nice guy, but he was on our last tour, the one where we broke.
That was unfortunate for him. I mean, as far as all of us, but we were heading out on a tour, and we had done the South a few times, and we were heading over to like Cincinnati. We
were going to get to the Great Lakes, like areas we've never been to before. We were really looking forward to it.
And it was just one of those things where I think we were a little low on morale, and we broke down in Vegas.
Yeah.
And, breaking down in Vegas is never a good thing. And then while we broke down, so me and Colin, because we don't, we have like $20 to our name. So we just walked the whole night down the strip. And
day.
And our bass player he had the flu, so he had like a fever, so he's just in the van waiting for them to find a part to fix our car.
And we got ripped off.
And they ended up finding like another van in the parking lot where they're like, we'll just take a piece off.
You know that hill that leaves Vegas, like going out, it's like goes up. So they put the wrong thing in. So we pay the $600-800 that our booking agent wired us or something.
Helped us.
Yeah, and then we're driving off that hill. We get like maybe 30 miles up the road. And then,
dun, dun.
So he just totally screwed us. So I had to call my dad in San Diego, who had this big like motorhome. I'm like, Dad, I'm in Vegas. I got the band. We need to get rescued. And, another half a day later, he was there. Wow. Rest in peace, Garth Smith. Thanks, buddy.
I think we just kind of hit that point where like, man, we've been trying this so long. Maybe it's just time.
Yeah, it felt like, it was just kind of, it was just kind of over.
So what year was that?
99?
99?
Wow.
99, I think.
Yeah. I'm kind of foggy on the year on that.
Yeah, I think that was.
But, then there was other issues too. There was, I was kind of into the singer.
I said, I don't date guys I'm in a band with.
Right.
That's like a whole nother story, a whole nother thing, I mean, that was kind of building up for years. I was just like, she's my bandmate and everything. And then near the end, when the band wasn't like going up anyway, I plateaued, and then it wasn't, rising anymore. It was just kind of slowly trickling down. I was just like, maybe this band thing should end and I should, I don't know, man. You know what? I don't know.
It was still a while. It was still, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to word that. But when you fight the love, it messes with your soul, right?
Right.
So, so when the band broke up, we.
So how long you guys been married?
In March, trip out on this number. In March, it'll be our 18-year wedding anniversary.
Well, congrats.
Wow. Yeah.
March 20th.
That's funny because Pat Kim, who was just here, him and his wife been married 18 years.
Oh,
cool.
There you
Oh,
go.
we're about the right time.
So waited a little bit. We're in our 30s.
Yeah, we were together for about 6 years before we got married. So we were together like a long time. We've we knew each other really well.
You were together from '94, so
No,
the whole time of the band.
Not together, but I'm saying
yes,
you guys knew each other from '94.
Being in a band marriage, you know how it is. When you're in a band, you're married.
It's family. Yeah.
At one point, we were in Vegas, and Porter, the three of us, we tried to actually get.
We were going to go get married.
Try to get married in Vegas. Have a three-way, with Porter.
Just get the core and
They wouldn't let us do it.
They wouldn't let us do it. We tried to get,
this isn't Utah.
They did.
So the whole time in the band, we weren't together. This is weird talking about this shit because this is so after the band. And then we were together, living in San Diego in an apartment we were together for 6 years. And then that's when we kind of moved up to Idlewild and got married.
And we took a break from music for a little bit. We just were hiking.
Yeah.
We
escaped
for
town.
a long time. We would go down to Inkopah, which is kind of near the border, and just be caving out. We loved
slept
caving,
in caves,
building
hiked
geodesic
around.
domes.
That's cool.
Yeah, really cool time. But that's the one time in our lives we weren't doing music.
Yeah.
And then at some point. And then the whole drummer thing came up. I'm like, okay, we're going to do music again. Are we going to try? And I had so many drummer, I didn't want that stress in my life again. So that's, the incarnation we are now and what we've been for years is pentagrams and daisies.
Right.
And that's basically where I bought a sequencer, which is like a real fancy name for a drum machine, but I can program bass lines, sound effects, bells and whistles, keyboards, horns, what you name it. I got really good at that. So I program out all the songs. And I'll play guitar over it, and she sings. Or now she got this rad, she got nodes one time.
The nodes.
Her voice went out, so she bought a ukulele, learned how to play ukulele, and then I got this little ukulele bass, so we can do mellow stuff. So on that one, it's just kind of drum, and I play bass and uke. She plays uke, I play bass. And she's got a little synthesizer with a vocoder. So we've, and then we can play without having a drummer. Drums are rad. Don't get me wrong. I love playing with a drummer. I wish it would work out, but not having a drummer, we can just play music all the time. Our drummer's always solid. His tempo is always the same.
We just saw the fastest way for us to move forward. Yeah. And
our son, we have a 12-year-old son. He could be sleeping upstairs, and we can practice on little monitors and just run through the songs real quiet.
Real punk rock like.
Yeah. Just for where we're at in our life.
Old punk rocks.
Yeah. And trying to play music, it just works.
Punk rockers, I should say.
Yeah.
I mean, however, to make sure it works. I mean, my wife is learning the drums, so we'll go in there and jam. And, it's just, we do it when we can. But for me, getting a band together and then trying to do it, my head starts to explode.
Because the scheduling, just trying to get people, just to get
and then
adults
all the talking. Talking's rabbit. It's like the first 20, 30 minutes is just talking. It's just like, come on, man.
You would burn out so
And I'm in bed super early in the morning. And then the idea for me to play shows, it's like, okay, well, you guys go on at 9 o'clock. Are you what?
Should we play a little bit of Dodgeball here?
Yeah.
What do you got queued up there, dude?
Let's see.
Oh, this is Pentagrams and Daisies.
Oh, I thought this was Dodgeball.
Nah. This is a new song. Monica wrote it. I did the bass. Here we go.
Hey, baby, did you hear the news today? Nothing but headache and heartache and way. And you can't even seem to get away. Not to mention all the single minds left to change. Baby, here's what I say. Hey, baby, save the world today. You can change it all by shaking it all away. Stand up and do the dance of joy. Let go of all that destroy. Hey, baby, save the world today. You can change it all by shaking it all away. Stand up and do the dance of joy. Let go of all that destroy. So now you wanna give it a try, but then you notice another day go by. You look around and then you wonder why. But tell you something, I don't wanna just stand here and die. Oh, baby, here's what I say. Hey, baby, save the world today. You can change it all by shaking it all away. Stand up and do the dance of joy. Let go of all that destroy. Hey, baby, save the world today. You can change it all by shaking it all away. Stand up and do the dance of joy. Let go of all that destroy. Let go of all that destroy. Baby, here's what I say. Hey, baby, save the world today. You can change it all by shaking it all away. Stand up and do the dance of joy. Let go of all that destroy. Hey, baby, save the world today. You can change it all by shaking it all away. Stand up and do the dance of joy. Let go of all that destroy. Let go of all that destroy. Dance of destroy.
All right. So that's from Pentagrams and Daisies. Thought it was Dodgeball, but I was wrong.
It's all good.
Pretty close.
The creative force of Dodgeball became Pentagrams and Daisies. Yeah, so it's called D-Joy. Monica she wrote it on ukulele, so chords and melody. And then I came up with the kind of the femsy, funky bass line.
Having him play the bass has been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Switching it up. Yeah. We're having a lot of fun. So our cover band, well, it covers and originals, Pentagrams and Daisies. So we're up like in a tourist town, and it was just all like the same classic rock, brown-eyed girl, Sweet Home Alabama bands, right? You know, and I'm like,
and I love classic rock.
It's rap.
It's a good time.
But I'm like,
but people
and then they're really
doing
unprofessional. We just saw, because we were waiters and bartenders up there. That was kind of like our main gig. You know, that's how we'd make money, being artists. And we just, you're supposed to play for 45 minutes and have a 15-minute break, 45, 15. But these guys would just take these huge breaks. I'm all, if we play some other stuff, some different songs, rad songs, and just be a little more professional, I bet we can get like a lot of work. And that's how we started it. So we started playing.
That's about 2008.
So people come up to Idlewild and they think they're going to just hear like classic rock and pinecone bands, which is like, that's what I just call the guy with the acoustic guitar singing, John Denver or whatever. And there's a lot of that. But I'm like, people come up from LA and they're not going to expect to see what we do.
Right.
You know, we have a stereo field.
So we throw in songs that definitely most cover bands aren't.
We throw in some metal, some punk, and then we got
some Fugazi. We do, and in between, we'd pop in something like Laverne and Shirley's theme song. You know,
right?
Yeah,
right.
we really like mix it up, but then giving people what they want too. Like we have stuff people can get up and dance to. We got a lot of punk rock. We got some
kind of
classic
go
rock.
all over the place.
Yeah, all over the place. We got a Tool song. We do 46 and 2. And it's awesome. Like, we kind of nail it. That's on our Thursday Dance Injection. I mean, we got this rad version of Sound System. I know other people
Do you know that one, Dan?
Yeah. But, like, they play the horns out. But I programmed out some horns because,
they played Sound System in front of Tim Armstrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
wow. Man,
cool.
that's, woo.
They actually tried to get him to go up there and sing it.
Actually, I stood next to him at their show in San Francisco. It was... I can't remember where we were at, but yeah, I don't know if it was that day, but
that was at Soma, right? Yeah.
Which one? When
you guys played with Rancid, right?
Yeah, well, we did a little tour.
So we call it Coffee Shop Arena Rock, or the biggest sounding duo on the planet. That's how we kind of describe it, because it's hard to like kind of tell people. And when they think we're a duo, they think we're just gonna be sitting there with acoustic guitars
singing
doing the same
songs.
thing.
Right.
But we set up these JBLs. We got stereo sounds going in, and we try to make it sound like 5 or 6 dudes, like a big rock band, but it's just us 2.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. But people need to, once people see it and hear it, then they get it. It's hard to kind of explain it to me. And we play a lot heavier than that song you play too. Like we have a Rage song. We do Aerials by System of a Down.
Damn.
But then we got like fun
Misfits
poppy stuff too. Yeah, we got.
Or we love St. Patrick's. Actually, that's coming up, and we tend to do like we'll do an Irish show where we do a lot of Dropkick Murphys and
Flogging Molly.
Molly.
We can do a whole, basically an hour and a half of Irish punk stuff.
So it is interesting though, going from Soma, where we would play 20 to 40 minutes at tops, and you were busted in, and you just put every single bit of energy you had into that little space. And then we start doing this cover thing, which neither of us had really done, out in the world too much. Now we are, but at the time, and they want 4 hours.
But so
you're playing for 4 hours.
With Dodgeball, you guys are playing in front of teenagers, and now you're what's the audience
Everybody,
like now?
everybody from 21 to 60. The 40, 50-year-olds really dig it.
And again, we live in this really trippy town, and a lot of times when there's events, it's everybody from from the little kids to the old people, and it's fun it's fun seeing people that don't normally listen to that kind of music. They go, I'm having fun with this. They don't know what it is,
and
but
we have
I'm
good
having
vibes.
so much fun.
Yeah, since we're not stressing on the drummer thing and everything's like. We have a really good stage presence. We feel out the crowd. We can read a crowd because we have mellow stuff too. Because sometimes when you play like a gig, the first hour people are still having dinner at some venues.
Right.
So you got to be mellow, and that's when we bust out the uke bass stuff. We do some Amy Winehouse, just some like really mellow stuff, and then we'll work into the kind of the more rocky dance.
And
stuff,
by the end of the night, we're like, we're throwing the Rage Against the Machine song.
I wish I could play it, but we have this. Someone's got to come see us. We have this version. I'm really proud of. Kashmir by Zeppelin. That's like one of our best ones, and it's got all the bells and whistles, and I got this chunky guitar line I do over it, and her vocals on it. I mean, I we've been married and playing together for a long time.
Brag,
dude, it's sick, dude. I wouldn't still be playing with. I mean, it's just off the hook. You got to hear before you die. You got to hear Monica sing Kashmir, dude. I mean,
when are you guys gonna play the Casbah?
I've been emailing Tim Mays about playing the Razzmatazz,
and it's coming up because we've also talked about because Michael Porter still works there, so he's
that's right.
And
I did see him over there.
They were talking about there being is it the 30-year reunion?
35th in like 2 years.
And
the
so
35th
they were saying
Casbah
that they had talked to
anniversary.
him about could we get Dodgeball back together?
Well, that's what we were thinking about. We were thinking about doing a Spaz Boy, Dodgeball, Cockroach show.
Hey,
so he's got 2 drummers, I forget the guys' names, but he's got 2 solid guys that play in bands at the Casbah all the time, like real solid guys that could just jump in and be solid, and then we wouldn't have, and then we could do it. So, Porter says I gotta like get him up to speed on a couple songs, and then he's got a couple drummers, and we could just bust it. and play the stuff at like a really good upbeat but reasonable tempo, and just get in the groove and rock it, and not play for 25 minutes. Maybe we could actually get 30 or 40 minutes out of somebody. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, you know what's something silly that we've always like wanted to do is at the Casbah they have that side room,
Razzmatazz.
The Razzmatazz. We used to call it the Atari room because they used to have video games back there, and I guess they call it the Razzmatazz. I don't know if Atari got mad at them or something, but anyways, I think it'd be really fun to just play some of these oddball covers during other bands and stuff. I don't know why, but that sounds like a lot of fun.
In between sets.
So that's what we're. So Tim Mays, if you're out there, I've been emailing you, man. Like, get back to us. It would just be so much fun. And if you just see us once, you're just going to get our thing, and it's going to work, man. It's going to be great.
So should we play a little bit of this super group here?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, can I just throw out a little disclaimer before you... Okay, so a couple... Oh, you want to play it?
Yeah.
Do it.
You can talk to it.
Still sitting on the kitty litter box right now?
I got it. I brought it.
Throne for Kings.
Rewind. Start again.
Oh my God.
Did you hear the beginning? At the beginning, he says something great too about
it's
the
a visual thing.
Yeah.
It's not about the... I forget.
Oh my Lord.
So I put that...
When I was playing that earlier, testing it, the first thing I said is, "Oh my God!"
It's so much. That's just FUN fun, dude. That's all that was.
So explain who was in the band for that Cockroach. Who's the band members.
I did vocals.
Yeah.
And
generally played bass.
Yeah.
That's what you did in Cranial.
Generally.
And then Jay Spaz, that's what I call him. I don't know if that's his name. He was on guitar and bass sometimes. And then I did, I guess you could call it the drums.
Right.
Yeah. Which, I brought the kitty litter box. I'm actually sitting on it right now. I brought it, my throne. So it's like the kitty litter box. I don't know where that came from. It was just about, just being funny and having a show, and then I had these toms, and then I was trying. What I was going to say before the song, if you notice, like the third verse, like it's a little slower, right? Because like the way the songs would end would I would just get tired.
We would just play as long as we look at Colin and like, can you do another verse? If we can do another verse,
hard as I could, and just give it all. Every song was 110%, and then when I just ran out of gas, it just kind of slowed down into a retard, and then it was like over. I mean, it was like I was just pooped.
Yeah.
And that's why that third verse is just a couple maybe 5 beats slower, because I'm like, I'm dead,
Yeah.
And that one must have been at Soundtracks. I think we rented Soundtracks in OB. Remember that place?
That's where we would rehearse and wrote songs.
And I think it's a one-track like Ghetto Blaster recording, because I used to record all the Dodgeball. I was a nut about recording everything. So when we had those Cockroach, so that's the one Cockroach like album I have.
There's another album. I think Adam from Slightly Stupid, the original drummer, I think he's the one that has it. But then there's the show from the Velvet.
Yeah.
That
he recorded that. He has that.
Someone else had posted that, and it's just
From the
it's so blacked out you can't see anything.
Is it like on the?
I think it's just
a
from a
video.
hand cam.
Oh, wow.
I can't remember
Back
who
in
it
the
is.
day with all the special lighting they had. And
Oh yeah.
Well, I still remember when you guys played Metro, and at that time I was doing the door still, and I opened up, I went in through the front, and you guys had just went on, and all these kids were like, "What the fuck is this?"
Like, so I had the kitty litter thrown, and then what I did is, like baseball bats, so they have that ring on the end for, I don't know what that's called, but what I did is I take the drumsticks and I put like a bolt and duct taped it, so I had kind of like, I made like a bat end, so that would like kind of stick into my hand, so I was getting tired, I wouldn't flick the, I could just keep them.
Right.
And then the songs would slow, and then it was just mayhem. And I just remember okay, now this is the question I have for you. Now, who got that together, and how did it come together? I have no memory of how that started.
To be honest, I've been trying to think about this, and I cannot. Granted, I think I was sponsored by Bud Light at that time, so I don't. It was probably just one of those in the back of Soma where,
That's what I was thinking.
what do you think about?
I do remember sitting out on the street sometime, and I don't know whose idea it was, but I just remember, like, I was a big fan of SOD back in the day,
right?
And I was talking to Monica about this on the drive down. Like, Scott Ian, he just knew that was the SOD singer was this roadie guy. Yeah. He just knew if he got him on stage, he would just rule. Yeah. And then I just remember, I don't know if it was me and Jay talking or how it came up, but I'm like, if Germ was the lead singer, frontman, whatever, it's just gonna rule.
I do seem to
you just have
remember,
this presence. So I'm like, it just like,
oh, of course,
that was the cat.
Of course, you just had. We just knew you were going to be the best front man, and I do seem to recall sitting out near the in the back doors there,
right?
And you talking about like, I want to work on a new project. I want a new project.
Was Jay sitting there too? Like, how did Jay?
Well, we were always all back there.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
probably.
Because that song, see that show at Metro, the kids were like, "We came here to see Dodgeball and Spaz Boy. What the hell is this?"
Oh yeah.
Well, that was a total chaos show, right? I mean, they were the headliner, and they had 1 million people there for them. But I remember writing the songs. Okay, so "Oh My God," if no one could tell the lyrics, it was "Oh My God, Almighty God," I think, which is kind of weird because it kind of sounds like a religious song.
It was very.
Spiritual. It's a spiritual, uplifting tune. But anyway, that was called like Noise G. Like, I remember just coming up with these simple concepts like, okay, everybody do noise. I'll come in with a beat and then just play G. I mean, it's just like Noise G.
Right.
And that became Oh My God. And all the songs were like that. There was another one that just kind of built up and then ended. They were all very just simple punk rock, garagey, just, simplistic as hell.
Because with all the pop punk that everyone else was doing. And then, so I'm thinking that was probably, it was either after I did Meat. I don't know.
Ooh, that might have been.
Yeah, it was after you did Meat.
Okay, so Meat was, B, tuned down to B, strings are flopping, super slow, 2 basses, just.
Wow. I never saw that. That sounds pretty fun.
And 3 gnarly vocals and just, guttural, just make your insides kind of turn a little bit. I want people to have nightmares. And then, so at that point, and then we named that because of the whole huge vegan movement and how a lot of these, the kids all were vegan. And then so everything that wasn't vegan, it was just shit. It was like the early woke movement.
Yeah.
So we named it Meat. And then with Cockroach, it was because I'm deathly afraid of cockroaches. I see them, I scream like a girl.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
So why was that? Why did we come up with that name? It's because you were scared of it?
Because I could scream like I'd seen a cockroach.
Now, we have it misspelled, right? I mean, it's cockroach. It's not.
Yeah.
How is a
with
real
the exclamation point?
Okay. Okay. I forgot that. Okay. So how is a real cockroach spelled? Like how is, because we spell it COCKROACH.
Yeah.
How is a real
COCHROACH?
Okay. So we're cockroach.
Yeah.
It was like,
Again, just another middle finger to.
Well, because Jerem was cocky. That's why.
I got the photos. I've got photos of us playing at the El Cajon
proof
Music
that it
Theater.
happened.
I have photographic evidence. Here's the Polaroids that Monica took on tour.
I was big on Polaroids.
Yeah.
Well,
You know,
that was real time, right? Back
yeah,
then.
yeah. I mean, it was interesting because people didn't have a phone to take photos, so having photos from then was actually pretty rare.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if we had our iPhones back then?
Oh, wow.
Can you imagine
all the pictures we
Oh my
have?
God, the things that went down there at Soma.
Come across on the podcast. It's these 8 photos right here. That's Music Trader. And this is my favorite, the one where you're like falling backwards.
Full
Germs
glory mohawk.
falling backwards. So I don't know if you have a scanner. I'm gonna let you scan those, but I will not give those up, dude. But so rad.
What freaking shirt am I wearing in this?
I don't think you are. You were
started off with something.
Because he usually wore that fishnet shirt.
Yeah,
that's in the other gigs. Yeah.
So I have those. So just memory lane right there. I mean, it happened, man. And you can see a couple of them where Jay is just like almost like in tears, laughing so hard while we're doing it.
Yeah.
I think Monica too. Like, and I'm like just beating the, and then I'm standing up. I think there was one song where I would like hit the cymbal while I was running in circles around the drum set or something. Anything I could do to just like elevate the showmanship because of my lame drum ability, you know what I mean? Just.
But that was the whole thing.
Yeah.
I remember talking about like if we're gonna do this, you're gonna play drums.
Yeah.
Because it can't be serious.
It's got to be. I wanted everybody to not play the instrument that they did, so it had more of a raw effect. That's why I really wanted Monica to play guitar and then Jay to play bass.
A little bit.
I remember the first time Jay played the bass, he's like, "I've never even held a bass." Like at Soundtrack, he picked up the bass and like he was like had fish fingers, like he just didn't get it.
Yeah,
he's like, "I've never even held one of these things," and I'm like, "Well, that's the sound I'm looking for." Play the bass because you can't play it.
Exactly. So in essence, it's kind of. As I look at it now, I always think of the Stooges now.
Yeah.
But there was no peanut butter. But I wasn't exactly. I mean, I'm not a stationary singer.
No, you're all over the place.
So, and then I have to put on this freaking show, and you paid your $5. So
and everybody knows who you are, so you gotta show up. You gotta show up. There's a little bit of pressure on you more than any of us.
I cannot phone this in.
You cannot.
Yeah.
And realistically, that's just.
Yeah, because who is everybody looking at? They're looking at Jero.
It is all about Jerem.
What the hell is this guy's problem?
But it was,
and you forgot
everybody
this.
Was waiting.
I got to tell you something else because they were all toms, right? All my drums were toms, so the kick drum was a floor tom. And I heard you guys talking to Jay. There was a kicker. I didn't hit it with my foot. There was a kick pedal, but what we did is there was no stands. So when we played the Soma sideshow, part of the act was we come out, everybody sets up.
Oh yeah.
So you had a drill and I had a screw, and we brought out the tom, and we wood screwed the tom right into the stage. I mean, it was like, wah, wah, and that's what held the thing there. And we had to unscrew it at the end of the gig. So all of a sudden, all the kids are like lining up in front. And, we kind of made a thing about it. When we were walking out and you had the drill, hey, look at this.
Part of the show.
I mean, what other band have you seen that drilled the kicker into the, I mean, that set the tone right there. It's like, okay, dude, this is going to be punk as fuck. Get ready. We're going to blow your fucking brains out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and there's no way that we could really even get away with doing that. If another band tried to do that,
you worked there, so
I would have lost my mind.
Right? No way.
I think Len probably lost his mind as well.
It was 2 holes, and it was totally worth it. But you worked there, so you had the free pass on that. That's why we know we could do that, and we didn't do that at other venues. But like, okay, this is the show. Let's drill the fucking thing in there, and it was great.
Yeah. See,
where's my album?
That's from the heavens.
Yeah.
It's from the heavens.
But so that being said, I'm trying to think of back to the actual roots of it and why we even
who instigated the idea?
Well, go ahead.
I mean,
I don't.
I kind of know that again. Some of it came from us. When people would line us up and say that we were punk, and we just thought that we're not hard enough to be called punk, so it's kind of like an unhonored.
We'll show you what punk is.
Thing to So I think
that
was
about
it.
Right. Yeah,
we wanted to go. Now this is what we would do.
Yeah.
So when I think of punk, I think of really quick, easy songs. It sounds really bad. It's just
but an expression of just
and just kind of artsy. Let's just letting out these feelings.
Yeah.
I mean, all those bands in the second coming of the 90s scene were just rad bands, but I mean, it didn't, it wasn't like seeing bands in a bedroom, you know, with a mattress up against the window. You know, to me that was punk as fuck. You know, and that's what Cockroach was, and it was rad doing that. It was just such a release. Yeah, you know, and having fun. Yeah, and you know,
it was real raw. It was
and
almost
it was quick.
Like,
I mean, we did a few shows, and then it was over. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. How many shows did Cockroach do?
I remember 3.
3.
Yeah,
because I think Jay said 4 or something. I don't.
There was Music Trader the first one.
Yeah.
And then Total Chaos might have been number 2 or 3. And then I know we did the Velvet, and that's all.
Did you guys play a house party?
I was going to say, didn't there some house party?
Some house party in college area, and that's all I remember.
I don't even remember the house party.
I remember these college guys. I remember them like, I don't know how we got that gig, but I remember being like, what the hell? Like, they didn't know what we were doing.
Again, God, I don't...
It was the oh my God. We played the religious song, and it's bringing in the chimes of heaven, dude. I mean, that's what's going on.
The bells are ringing.
Yeah, I don't even remember that, but I do. The crazy thing about it is when you look at some of the pictures that I have taken from the back of the stage, looking forward, because there's all the Swindle kids up there.
Yeah,
you know, and they're just like, what the fuck is this?
It was great.
But Derek from Spaz Boy was standing there too.
Oh yeah.
And being on the riser, you know, being on the drums, in the back, there was a whole different view for me. And just looking out, like I remember there was this song, I don't know which one that was called, but it went na 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 na, very pogo-y song. Yeah. And that's when there was a sea of people pogoing, and to me, I was like, you know, this is just magic. I mean, that you can't even describe that feeling, you know, because I mean, we weren't Sprung Monkey. We never played the main stage and had that sea. You know, all of a sudden it's like, how is this happening right now? You know, I mean, we're doing Cockroach, and it's like insane, and it's rad.
Yeah, and that was a beautiful thing about it. Is like we were we're looking at each other, laughing, going like, you know, we worked so hard at Dodgeball, but dude, this just came together, and it was just fun.
We
and
rented soundtracks and 2 nights. Boom. Let's gig, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
It was great. So have you heard it, like listening to that song last night when I sent it over? Was that the first time you've heard it? And like,
I listened to it this morning. Yeah. Prepping all this. And yeah, it's, other than the one video, I think I shared it. It's the hand cam or whatever.
I want to see that sometime.
And the sound's kind of, I have to find it. It's probably on the group. And it sounds kind of meh, but that, I mean, I haven't even.
Well, I worked on that. Like, I got the whole practice. I'll give you the whole session sometime. But that I kind of, you know, was just a 1 track on a ghetto blaster. So I tried to EQ it. You know, it's in a digital. I put it into a digital machine and tried to like get something, you know, because the vocals are a little low. I tried to EQ it to where the bass was more, and you could hear the vocals, and that's the best I could get it to sound.
Yeah,
you know,
it sounds. It's just raw. Yeah. It's oh my God.
It's press, record, and play on the tape, you know?
Yeah.
I can't even believe that people even care and want to hear us talk about this crazy shit. That's what's kind of tripping me out.
The Facebook page was like going bananas. We're going to have Dodgeball. Where's Monica? We want to hear Monica do a podcast. And that was like the last request we had, actually.
Yeah. Maybe you guys should actually have her back, because I talk too much. I'm such a spat. You got to have her back to just do a Monica one, and then you can get more of her. Yeah, I know. I'm just, you know.
No, I think it's coming out good.
All right.
I think everything sounds
I'm totally geeked out. This is taking me back.
I just sit back here and laugh and think about all these times. Like, oh,
and that's what it's about. It's about sharing the memories, you know. It's bringing back memories. So,
and I just want to say that all the people, you know, seeing Pat and you guys all look like shit. You guys haven't aged well at all. But my wife right here, she's healthy. Man, she still looks good.
She looks the same.
Yeah,
exactly.
She didn't lose it. Yeah, she's killing it. And I just, you know, no, you guys do look good. Seeing you was awesome. I knew exactly who you were when I saw your face.
Yeah.
You know, dude, you looked like you were 50 back when you were 20, dude. So, I mean.
So he looks younger now.
Yeah, you're actually doing great.
Here's the funny thing, right?
Oh, shit.
There it is.
Yeah,
There's the hug, baby.
Well, no, you don't look bad at all. I was just trying to make a joke. You look good.
Age.
Yeah.
But, you know.
So did you guys want to play something? This will be the first time. Did you?
Yeah. Well, it was that same song that you played. That's the one we like had ready to go.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you wanted to play something live.
But it was that D-Joy song. If you couldn't get that to work, we were going to play it live, and that's what we don't want to have anything else prepared, do we?
No worries.
I don't even think.
Not this
I
one.
mean,
and this is history because this is the first time we had a female come in and
Hey.
do the podcast.
Yeah.
So
Right.
For the woman.
Monica's the first
and
woman.
played songs, which I thought it'll be a cool dynamic.
Yeah.
Got some talking and play some tunes. And,
Well, we did that with G Spot actually with John. So
Yeah.
well, I haven't heard that
First
one. I
time.
got to listen to that.
We
one.
haven't put them out yet. I'm trying to we're gonna compile a bunch of stuff and then get them
and it is
mixed
good.
and mastered.
It's good to hear all these different angles because there was so much going on. There were a lot of people in the scene, and you would circulate with all these different bands. So there's all these little tiny different memories that happen. Oh, here's a pretty good Soma story. So it was a Green Day show, and I was in Cranial Vacancy at the time.
Yeah.
And my old the old singer Mike Chapman.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you remember Mike, but he was this little Jewish guy, kind of wall-eyed, and he just it was a real character.
So was this was Union days then?
Nope.
That was Metro.
God, I really have trouble.
I think
Remember, Metro
I think
was
it might
you
have been
guys
the new one.
played.
Metro was 94 to 99. Union was 86 to 94.
Because we didn't play the show. Me and Mike just went to go see Green Day, and
okay.
And it was funny because in the middle of it, I was like, oh, let's get in the pit. We're having fun bouncing around in there. It's a lot of fun. And he's waiting for his moment. And finally goes, okay, now. And he jumps in, and he's got these glasses, prescription glasses he's wearing that are from like when he was like in the 3rd grade or something. So they're little kid, they're tiny little glasses. Immediately in the pit, someone rips them off his head, and everybody's laughing and throwing them around. And Billy Joe stopped. He's like, "Hey, everybody! Hey, give me those!" And he took the glasses, and he's like, "Who are these?" Mike's like, "They're mine." And he's like, "Well, come on up." And so he had Mike come up on stage, and I don't know what song he sang with him, but he got him to sing a song with him. But it was one of those fun times when it was like, because I know at the beginning of the night, Mike says to me, "I'm getting up on stage tonight." I'm like, who are you kidding? I mean, who are you kidding yourself?
Right.
Okay, whatever. And sure enough, there he was up on stage singing with Billy Joe.
And that's something he'll remember for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
That's great.
And there's always something crazy with him. Like when we played, like I'd be playing bass, he'd be shaving my legs during shows, or he'd drink a whole bottle of Scope. Or
Didn't he shave his eyebrows during a gig?
he did. That was a little bloodier one. That was yeah. That one got a little in his head, and it's like shaving your head without like a mirror is
You gotta
really,
have, you gotta have a mirror.
it's really tough.
You gotta have multiple mirrors.
Talk
actually.
about someone who would do anything for the show. I have to hand it to him.
I remember him like trying to put together the image and everything together. I remember the name because I still to this day love the name.
Cranial Vacancy is probably one of the greatest. It's
It
a
was
great name. Yeah,
It is.
I'm a big connoisseur of great band names, and Cranial Vacancy is up there for sure.
I've named some brilliant names.
Yeah.
Excrements is really up there in one of the bands that I named. That
Well, I like our new one. This was actually supposed to be the name of our second album, Pentagrams and Daisy. It was supposed to be Dodgeball, but then when the band broke up, I'm like, that's just too good. And I was like, and then the symbol and everything.
Yeah.
And then you want to tell about the band name. She was a little apprehensive about it.
Yeah, I was a little
with
weirded
the
out because I
pentagram thing.
had a couple people been like, pentagrams. Oh, are you? Say it. Yeah. And we're like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I was like, no, he's pointing. I'm round. It's pentagrams and days.
It's kind of
like
more
our
of a yin and yang symbol
And,
for us. Anyway.
So I was going back and forth on like, should it be? Is it too hard? Are we not going to get gigs because people are going to trip out on the name, and stuff like that for some of the types of venues we were playing. So I'm working at a restaurant one day, and
Cafe Roma, Idlewild.
in Idlewild, and Serge is there from System of a Down, and he's having lunch, and I'm horrible when I go to meet famous people. I am like the dorkiest dork. Like as many years as I've worked around famous people, I just am not good at going up to talk to him. So I'm waiting for my moment. Like, do I say hello? I gotta say hello. I mean, I can't let him leave without saying hello. What am I gonna do? So then he goes to the restroom after he's done eating, and he goes to walk out, and I'm like, hey, I love your band. I really love what you do. And like, I have a song. We play the song. We like to play aerials. And I'm like, this is the band that I'm in, and we do this stuff. And he's like, oh, really? Like a girl sings aerial. What's the name of your band? I'm all, Pentagrams and Daisies. He's all, cool name. And I call him Colin. Okay, that's it. We're keeping the band name. We're keeping
So
it.
our band name has been Surge approved. That's what we tell people. Yeah. So that was a good story.
So just a tidbit, since you guys are fans of System of a Down, Damon and Shavo actually would come to Metro to watch shows.
Really?
Yep.
Really? See, they were huge Dodgeball fans all the time. I knew it.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
Before I don't know if this is wrapping up, but I want to tell people, okay, we got a website. So pentagramsanddaisies.com, but on the website it's spelled A-N-D. We usually use the little symbol. So pentagrams, the symbol, and then daisies. But on the website it's pentagramsanddaisies.com, and we have like a little sound bite on there. Monica edited together this cool thing. There's the chimes. It's just so clubs can tell like what we're doing cover wise. So it's a little sampler, and instead of playing songs and songs and songs and taking too long, it does like 20 seconds of a song and goes to the next one. So if you go down on the left, there's a little thing that says P&D Tasty Taste Sampler. Check it out. It's really fun. You get an idea. We go anywhere from Amy Winehouse to Rob Zombie and everywhere in between, and it's a lot of fun. So, I mean, that's awesome. So anybody wants to check that out. And we were looking to do some gigs in San Diego again.
Yeah, we want to definitely see you guys out here playing.
I think everybody that came out would have a good time. They would trip out of what me and Monica do now. Our act right now is just bizarre and great fun.
It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun.
And a way to promote that, if we guys can get something, put former members of
members of
Dodgeball.
Yeah.
and COCKROACH.
That would bring the old fans out, so that would be good.
It'd be a lot of fun.
Definitely something going.
Yeah, we just don't even know. We've been gone 20 years now from San Diego, which is like really bizarre to think that we've been gone that long. So when I come back and I'm thinking of old gigs, and those places don't exist anymore. None of that's around.
Yeah, the tower I worked out doesn't exist anymore.
When I looked at Soma and saw they were doing all these hip hop bands, I'm like, well, I don't know what I would do with that now. It's like, nothing against it. I mean, I like that, but it's not what we do.
Well, the town has changed so much that even trying to see like talent, like looking at names for anything, even at a bar, I'm going, who are these people?
Yeah.
And then I realized, oh, wait a minute. I haven't been serious about, shows and any of that since 1997. It's been a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just feel, it makes me feel super old and then out of touch. And then it's like, well, is it local? And then my mind just starts to explode trying to figure it out. Because
so are you in the scene anymore at all? Are you completely retired from? Do you go to shows? I mean, where are you? I mean,
when we met up a couple years ago was at the Casbah with Swindle, Agent 51, and the Classified. So it was like a Soma throwback that Rob Perlman.
They were playing, or were you guys just hanging out?
They played.
Oh,
and
wow!
I hadn't seen him in years.
Oh,
actually, I saw him at Soma San Diego when I was working there. He came.
I'd love to see the Swindle guys. I mean, they were like, we call them kids. We thought they were
the Swindle kids.
I remember we all went. A whole group of us.
Sorry, Swindle. You guys look older than us. They look older than us.
They didn't age well, huh?
No.
So we all went to Disneyland at one point. It was during the recording, I think, of all that lump of coal and all that. So that whole group, a whole bunch of us went to Disneyland, and everybody's dressed all punk and everything like that. And so there were a million, and not to be racist, just was like Japanese people that would be like, picture, and they would get us all in. So somewhere on a bunch of Japanese,
you guys
mantles,
were a tourist attraction.
Were a tourist attraction.
Yeah. Well, because they had all the clothespins and they had the whole
at
thing.
The time,
Spiked hair.
So it wasn't happening like it is now, but
but
they were just really tripped out on seeing it.
A couple of those Swindle guys don't even have hair anymore.
Wow. He gives us a look like, I'm gonna tell you something.
I miss my hair. Oh man. Yeah.
But other than that, with the podcast that we're doing, and then we have done a couple shows. I was mentoring these kids called Magnol Company, and we did a couple shows, but I was mainly, the first one we were really heavily involved. So it was just like a Soma show. I brought Sammy, the sound guy. Jerry and I ran the thing, but kind of, let the kids kind of see what it was about. And then they did another smaller show, and that I was more away from it. But I was the grown up this time. I'm pacing around the frickin' place, telling people not to drink, talking to cops, and
the tables turn.
And I'm talking to the cop, just thinking, oh my god, no, fuck you, just let them play. God, this is weird. Why am I doing this? And then we're hoping to do more, and I'm doing that under Germ Warfare Productions.
Good name.
But realistically, and I was also doing my charity at that point. And then the skateboard company, and then my full-time job, and then this. So it was a matter of eliminating the things that aren't making sense and aren't moving forward. Because for me to trying to get with the kids. You know, I have to get on TikTok and snuggle and
That's like he's
face
gonna hash brown
cracks and
hash brown, yeah, Cobra Kai, hash brown,
Yeah.
yeah.
But you know, I don't do that. I don't like social media. I get hacked all the time. I don't really know what the hell I'm doing.
Oh, that's us.
I get insecure about it because I feel so fucking old. I still write notes.
That's hard. We all come from that do-it-yourself on paper era.
Yeah.
Like I mean, like we said, every
I still
flyer,
make a poster.
He does. He
when
still
we
makes.
play. We do the
hand
Facebook
flyer.
thing because we have to, but I'll still make a flyer and go staple it up at the coffee shop in Ottawa because like I want a poster and a flyer up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not about you, but we're looking for that.
Feels like it's real.
That kid
Yeah.
or that person who wants to be another member of the band to do all the social media because
Yeah, we need to hire
Yeah.
a kid.
Yeah, but that's the thing is I was working. They were all early 20s.
Yeah.
But I've noticed at this point that there's such a divide. I mean, the gap of age and from what I was, I did celebrity judging where I did a battle of bands. So I was a celebrity judge.
Nice.
And there's
Awesome.
there's a couple of these other guys that were there that were they're still in the business doing production and all that. And when we had our meeting in the beginning, they're like, "Oh, you're Jeremy. Oh, wow, that's cool. Good to meet you." And well, I do this, and then, at the end of the night, it's like, yeah, that fucking old guy. That guy was in Cockroach. And I felt I'm so out of place, and I feel old, and I feel removed.
Yeah.
So it's to get back into it and actually start making things come together and to be able to do it properly. Jerry and I are working on some things, but it's,
Well, maybe we can, maybe we'll get something together sometime. It's got to feel right. It's got to be the right thing.
But as far as musically, my wife and I have what we call the left outs.
Nice.
And we just, like I said, we just jam. But
maybe we can get a jam going here after this podcast wraps up. We'll get.
Yeah.
Well, I'll teach you the huge arrangement of Almighty God, and we'll whip it out.
Bit of an opus.
But in the meantime, obviously there's either lizards in my front yard, and that's the ring that keeps going off.
Before we leave,
it's heavenly.
I got to tell you one more story because I was listening to one of your podcasts, and I learned about how much of an Ozzy fan and Black Sabbath fan you are.
Oh yeah, my dad.
I got to tell you my quick. Yeah. I got to tell you my quick. I met Ozzy once. Okay, so this is back in the Tower days. I was out at the El Cajon Tower. And he was doing an in-store at the Sports Arena Tower. That's where all the big in-stores were because that was the main one. And this was the No More Tears album. This was like the big, comeback record, which is, I don't know how you feel about it, but I love that record. I think it's like great.
Yeah.
I love it. So it was Zakk Wylde's first, thing or whatever. And we go down there because I was doing the art things and me and my managers went down there and we got to meet Ozzy. But, there was a line like down the block, a couple blocks down the effing Sports Arena Boulevard, right?
Yeah.
So we got to meet him before he worked the whole, line of people.
Line,
so, yeah. So, and he was hilarious. I don't know if he told this joke before, but the line in Paranoid where it's like, end your life, end your life.
Yeah.
He's all, in his shaky British accent, like almost falling down. He's like, "Oh, it's all a misunderstanding." He's all, "I didn't tell you to end your life. I was telling you to enjoy life. You must enjoy life." And we were just cracking up. I mean, the guy was awesome, dude. I mean, just so great. Oh, and then I wanted to get him to sign something. So, off the record back in the day, college. So I went there. All I had was tapes. I was like a tape kid. So I got this gatefold of Paranoid, it's like a vinyl and it folds open. Yeah. And there's like a hill. It's a black and white photo. Ozzy's on one side and then the three other dudes are on a hill. And this was when him and, Tony Iommi, I guess, were feuding a little bit. So when I gave it to him to sign, before everybody, he wrote like dickhead really big in the gatefold. And he drew this huge arrow that right on top of Tony Iommi's head. And I still have that. It's like, and then he signed it, and it's just great, dude. Oh my God. Ozzy is great, dude. I mean, I'm going to be bummed. You know how like you see people die, like people are dying all the time on the phone? Yeah. When him and Willie go and it comes across the phone, I'm going to be bummed out.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to hang out with Ozzy the summer of 2000. I was on Ozfest working for a band that Sharon signed, so I knew the whole family. I had dinner with Ozzy a couple times, and
was that during the show when the show was on TV and everything?
No, this was before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was maybe 2 years before the Osbourne show came out, but
Wow.
yeah, Ozzy's totally humble. He's a great guy, and I never had anything bad to say about him. I actually became a fan because of hanging around him. So.
And he was like what you guys would say, like during the autograph signing, I mean, he was shaking and just like, but then we saw him that night wherever they were playing, and he just becomes
different person.
Total different person. I mean, he was still throwing the confetti out of the pail, and he was jumping around and clapping, and it was just, man, and put on, one of the best frontmans ever.
I have to say, like I always loved, when I was a kid, growing up and listening to his lyrics and I think he was misunderstood if you didn't listen to his lyrics, and if you listen to his lyrics, like he was singing about great things, and I kind of think sometimes that it's influenced, like right now a lot of our songs are a little more environmental, and some of that is due to Ozzy. He's saying about he's saying about the mother planet and not taking advantage of it, and that kind of stuck with me. I was really young when I would hear him do those things, and so I kind of think that's been an influence in us. And like I said, I think our new stuff is definitely more on the environmental.
That's
wake
cool.
up,
and just reliving all these memories and going back, this has really helped my climate anxiety a lot. This has been some really good therapy for me, so cool. You know what I mean. Thank you for that. Like today I didn't think about the Amazon burning or anything like that,
right.
So
so
thanks, man.
No,
but I'm laughing, I'm still in a good mood.
Good.
Yeah, I'm the same way. It's just to be able to like remember some things, but not only that, but it's the whole. You remember something, you're like, oh yeah, that's great. I'm sitting here watching TV, and I'll watch some old skateboard video or whatever. I'll even pop on one of my old bands. And, that's cool. But when it's with people collectively,
the energy to it,
and then and that's the one thing that a lot of these things with. I listen to a lot of talk radio, unfortunately. So sometimes by the time I get home, I'm out mowing lawns, and I'm doing, I go above and beyond. I'm not just mowing lawns, but I try to do the right thing for people. Don't overcharge and blah, 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 blah. So by the time I get home, if I'm listening to talk radio about politics, I get home in this place, my haven, and it's like, fuck. Well, I'm going to have a fucking shot of tequila and take my vitamins and fuck. And then I stare at my ramp and I should fucking skate. Fuck that. I'm pissed off.
I brought my board and my pad. I'm an old guy. I wear wrist guards and pads, but we might skate it up here in a second, huh?
Yeah.
We're going to go have a little skate sesh?
Yeah. I got a screwed up shoulder, but I can do some kick turns right now.
Well, I don't learn anything new. I just do the same old tricks. I mean, I'm old too, man. I don't want to eat it.
Yeah.
Hey, I think we win. I think we win for like the longest podcast of this whole thing, dude. Hope you don't edit all this. We win. Woo!
No, we don't edit anything out.
No. There's a couple, well, we might have edited it out, like one of the doorbells in the beginning, but now on one of the previous ones, but...
You gotta unplug that chime, man, wherever it's at.
I don't know if it's coming across on the mic, but yeah, it's pretty funny. We all just kind
of... It's the 7-Eleven coming in out of the 7-Eleven. We're doing the podcast from 7-Eleven today.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
But it's... Want a Slurpee with that?
That was my first job. My first job was
that's where I went was,
really?
After Soma, I worked at 7-Eleven.
When I was 16, that was my first job. Learned a lot about the world working at 7-Eleven.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's in the Dodgeball days, I would work at a 7-Eleven and we go on a tour, I could quit. You could just quit 7-Eleven, right?
Yeah.
So
because they'll hire you right back because...
They're always needing somebody 24 hours a day.
Just like at a gas station.
Yeah. End up going back and you start doing graveyard shift, and then they move you up to swing shift, and then you open up and they go, you're too hungover.
That's a different podcast. I got a million stories of that.
Oh, yeah.
Place.
After I quit there, I ended up doing stagehanding, and one of the gigs that I did happened to be back at Soma. The only time I think I remember doing a gig there, and I think it was Megadeth.
Okay.
Oh, that was the night before our New Year's Eve show.
Is that Metro or Union?
That was Metro.
And we were putting up moving lights, but didn't have a drop-in ceiling or anything like that. So we'd put the lights in, and they were so low that they were going to hit everybody's heads. So we had to take those lights out. But I always remember that was like a really trippy thing to come back after. It was quite a few years after we played.
Yeah.
And so
we did play the main stage one time. I don't know if you have a date on this, but we played the main stage 7 seconds Maybe I
don't
shouldn't
even have to mention it.
Oh man, yeah. Okay, so we moved up and it was raining, and I think what it was, I wasn't a fan of 7 Seconds, but I think it was one guy, original member.
Only one.
So it was
guy.
one of those things where it's like it's
Kevin.
not really the band, so nobody came. I mean,
Right.
the main stage was big, and there was maybe like 60 people there, which for that place was like nothing.
Highlights.
So
Highlights
our one
of the
chance
time.
on the big main stage was a total flop, man.
Did you remember how many people that main stage held?
A couple thousand.
No, not that many.
Really?
500.
1375.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know,
So the new
we didn't even
Soma,
get to the 75,
2,500.
I don't think, dude. So, I mean, we're
60
like,
is a small show for the side stage.
Yeah. It was just one of the man. It was
the
one of
weather
those
was
things, the
horrible,
coveted,
and they didn't draw. You know,
Didn't
we had
even
a couple of
cover
our
the
kids
main
from the postcards. We sent out our postcards, and we had a couple of those kids there. But I
Yeah.
mean, it was like raining cats and dogs for San Diego. It was a pretty big storm.
Okay.
And I just remember it being like people were just like,
You guys remember what year that was?
I was hoping you would have
No,
like
I
a
I'm
list
thinking
of that
97-ish.
Really?
Yeah, 7 Seconds on the main stage at Metro. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
And
We got to get that reader. We got to hit those people
Yeah.
up.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. They have all the info. They have every.
I just want to
show.
end it on a really high note.
Yeah, well, that was a good one. We probably got really high after that. I'm sure.
You could go higher.
Well, it was good seeing you guys. It's been so
Yeah,
long.
good seeing you, man.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know. Listening on the podcast, I didn't know I still don't
like,
know
who
who
the
Mikey
hell's
Beats is. I
Jared?
got to see who this guy is. I got to see his face. You
Yeah.
know? It's good
Well,
seeing you, man.
Mikey's
Yeah.
done grows up. Mikey had done grown up. He was just
Little guy.
long blonde hair. He
Yeah.
was there for a short period of time, but just full of freaking energy and just loved the
Too
scene.
bad he wasn't here. It'd been nice to meet him too. But
Well, he's unfortunately he's not doing it with us anymore. But he's still around. We're
Well, I
gonna drag him
really,
in at
really
some
appreciate
point.
you guys getting a hold of us.
Yeah,
and
that
I
was
don't
good.
know if this would have happened if we weren't in Cockroach. I mean, Dodgeball was cool, but you know, we
Oh,
had
no,
our day.
they
but
didn't request Cockroach. They
No.
requested Dodge.
really,
well.
man, who were these kids and where were they back in the day, man?
Well, they're grown adults now.
Yeah. Well, hopefully,
But-
if we get this going on some sort of reunion show, we actually get a crowd going and have like a fun show. And
Oh yeah.
Gotta
you
do
know,
it.
yeah.
Well, even dropping the hints about Cockroach and things that I did on the group, the hype is there. But
Yeah.
they wanted. I mean, I even played Dodgeball earlier. What was I doing? YouTube or something? And I was like, holy shit, because I'd forgotten.
yeah.
And that's another great thing for me is to be able to listen to
It's
stuff
on
that
YouTube. Dodgeball's on YouTube somewhere.
I could
I
swear
gotta
that's
check
where
that
it was.
out.
It was just
Someone's got some stuff up.
like a picture. People will put like a whole album.
Yeah.
And it's just a
Right.
picture. So you stare at the picture, and I'm staring at the picture. Is it
Wow.
gonna
I gotta check
move?
that
But
out.
listening to music going. I think that's because we were doing some research this morning.
Yeah.
But yeah, before the heavenly 7-Eleven doorbell comes in,
Yeah.
Colin, Monica, thank you guys.
Hey, thank you,
you
man.
so
We had
much.
such a
So
great
good to see
fun
you guys.
thinking about coming here and just thinking about everything.
Good old memories, man.
Just a lot of
Good
fun.
times.
Yeah. So we'll have a
You
lot
guys
to
rule.
talk about
From
on
the-
the drive home, you know?
From the hallowed
yeah.
halls, the hallowed halls of Soma.
Yeah.
All
That's
right,
amazing.
Colin and Monica. Ow!
Thank you.
This podcast was recorded at Red Rum Skates. Mixed and mastered by me, Jared. Music provided by Breaking